That's right. Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And welcome to our Luca Spoilercast. It's the first Pixar film that's also a Disney Plus original movie.
Way to bring down the room just right off the bat.
All right, well, let's get into it, Dragon. So I am... You know what, Dre? Let's throw it to you. I want to throw it to you first because I'm sure you're. I like this movie, but I've got thoughts. Let's throw it to you first, though.
Okay. All right. So yeah, Luca. So this is Enrico Casarosa's feature debut. After La Luna, of course, La Luna was kind of his big break as a short, as Pixar short, which also was very kind of steeped in kind of the Italian heritage. It was wonderful, and it was a great.
This feels like basically a La Luna movie, honestly.
Yeah, I love that. I love that it feels. La Luna was great, and I love that. Honestly, it's one. If you really, bear in mind, last time I really considered.
I'm saying in terms of like the design and then the fantasy sequences feel very much like yeah.
Mind you.
All right. Anyways, go ahead.
It's been a while since I've ranked like the Pixar shorts. Remember, La Luna ranked really up there for me a while ago. I don't know if we ever ranked it or I just did.
I don't think we have ranked the Pixar shorts, and that would be an interesting conversation to have.
Yeah, I've always really had a great fondness for La Luna. So based on that, also he was a story artist. He was a storyboard artist on Up. So again, he's had a really he's got a great track record. This guy, giving him a feature was a stroke of genius. Just given what he did on that short. So anyway, so this was a very personal story for him. It's based on his childhood, during the summers in Italy, which he basically kind of based all this on. Had a friend named Alberto. You can kind of see where kind of the dots are connecting there. So this, this was his feature debut, which I'm really happy for him about. And for me, this is basically, to me, my shorthand, my thesis on this film was that Pixar made a Miyazaki film, and I think that's awesome. That's what it feels like to me. It's charming as all get out. It's very pleasant. It makes me nostalgic for the Race for Your Life Charlie Brown movie as well. It really does. I just think Pixar cracked the code finally on the summer movie that it aimed to do with Cars 2. I think they kind of finally refurbished what that concept and a more well-received version of that concept would look like. And I think that's kind of what we have here, Luca. Again, Casarosa did a bang-up job. Molto bene is my thesis. Molto bene. It's great.
All right. Okay, Dragon. We've got lively comments here. We got Pink Pearl. Pink Pearl agrees with you, Dragon. Miyazaki recreates reverse Little Mermaid. So let's see. Claude Kringa says it's strange that this isn't sold and get the premiere Disney Plus treatment, but Raya did. Monkey does make a good point, though. He says, for what it's worth, if someone still hesitant to return to regular moviegoing and who doesn't want to do premiere access, it's nice to have this as a release option. It's a fair point. So I really like this movie, and I think that much like Onward, this is a movie. This honestly feels like a mirror of Onward in a lot of ways, Dragon.
I would agree, and again with the whole personal story aspect, it does feel like that to me. Yeah.
But this is a movie that to me gets better and better as it goes along. And to me, it took me a while to get invested. I'm not going to lie. And I think that's probably the movie's biggest fault is Act 1 is like the stuff in Act 1 is fine. I really wasn't digging all the stuff with the underwater farm because to me, I was getting oh my God, we're going Great Dinosaur with this. This good world dinosaur. Is just a good. Oh God. Yeah. Sorry. But I did get some good dinosaur vibes with the farm just because it felt super underdeveloped and it felt like, oh God, this is Pixar doing underwater without the Finding Nemo kind of breadth of the world building, and it's not working for me. And the underwater parts are the weakest part of the movie for me, but they're few and far between, and I think all the Italy stuff is fucking awesome. Just my God, let's get the World Showcase in Epcot needs a Luca ride, even if it's a Vespa people mover or something like that,
That'd be
just
cool.
Right. So yeah, Dragon, I think this is an incredibly solid movie all the way through. I think the three main characters, uh, oh god, I'm terribly sorry, I've seen
Okay,
this
well,
movie.
you want me to name the three characters?
Julia, right?
Yes, Julia.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure. She's
Yes,
great.
yeah, she is great.
Julia was super charming to me. Her dad was super charming. I felt like they were like kind of the heart of the movie for me.
I love me some Massimo. We'll get to him.
um, I felt like the two leads not quite as compelling to me, if I'm being honest. But what I did like about them is, Dragon, I mean this in like honestly the most complimentary way possible. I know just like there's no better way. I can't say it any other way than Dragon. This movie is kind of really gay, and I kind of like it. I mean that in the sense that I feel like it has incredibly positive kind of like coded queer representation in it, where they don't come right out and say it, but I feel like there's definitely some themes there, Dragon. There's definitely some underlying themes. There's a lot of with Alberto especially, Dragon. Alberto strikes me as definitely a coded queer Disney character in kind of the best of ways, and I want to make a point that I do think like I don't think you necessarily have to read the movie that way, but it's kind of just how I read it. And Dragon, maybe I'm just kind of like getting call me by your name kind of connotations with the Italy setting. Like to me, this is kind of I mean, not in the sense that it's anything romantic, but just in this, I don't know. There's kind of just the fact that it's kind of like this lifelong bond, and there's a jealousy there. I feel like it's if what I'm reading into is true, I feel like it's incredibly positive representation, if it is there at all.
I can verify what I heard, whether it's
okay. Please do.
From what I heard, the director, like they were asked specifically about the "Call Me by Your Name" comparison too. By the way, and they said no, it wasn't intentional. As I mentioned earlier, it was very much like he had a boyhood friend, and it was not. So the debate has been sparked on like whether it's the coding is there or not. Look, people take that away.
It's kind of like it's kind of like how I take the coding in Lilo and Stitch, where it's like. I don't necessarily think Lilo and Stitch was like specifically like, oh, this is an autism metaphor 101, but to me, like I read into the coding, like sure. I have my own personal interpretation of that, and it's so strong for me that I literally got a tattoo of fucking Stitch, because it resonates so much with me, even though I have no idea if Chris Sanders intended it to resonate in the way that it resonates with me, so.
Right.
I kind of get that kind of vibe with it.
Well, I mean, that regardless of however you interpret, like I don't interpret it that way, but by all means, and again, I can see where people would get, we're kind of get the notion of it, and by all means, everyone's going to take something away from the movie, and again, it's strong if you take it that way. So by all means, all right.
I'm just saying it was a bold choice for Pixar, man. It like that. I feel like it's kind of like like I said, like you said, I know it's not inherently like what the director was intending, but I do think the fact that this can be read that way for Pixar is very positive in there. I
mean, we don't. I think more so like we're not forcing we're leaving it open because we're not forcing like a traditional like they're jealous because there's like a love triangle. There's no love triangle,
and we're not forcing him and Julia together as a couple either. It's literally like a triangle, a friendship triangle.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I feel so. All right. Anyways, Dragon, with that in mind, so really quick, I'm going to just kind of call out some comments here. Let me, this movie isn't another Inside Out, and that's perfectly fine. It's a solid little film. Yeah, I agree with you, Rob. I agree with you for the most part. Let's see. Pink Pearl says, La Gata La Vulpa is one of my new favorite songs. That's an Italian kid song about the cat and Fox from Pinocchio, really trying to calm you.
Yeah. Remember, you saw the during the song, you saw like they took the Machiavelli, the cat, and they formed him into the Pinocchio thing. Kind of remind me of that bit in Aquaman where we go to the town and we have the it's.
All right, Monkey says it succeeds in being a solid little film. Oh God, Pink Pearl says, oh God, Arlo and Luca are the same character. Luca is a better character than Arlo, but not as better as I would want, because Arlo is one of my least favorite main characters in a Pixar movie. I'm not saying Luca's bad. I'm saying he's he's one of the least interesting parts of the movie for me. All right, let's see. The plot was predictable, but it was a beautiful movie. And then Monkey says Friendship Triangle is my favorite Bermuda Triangle rom-com. All right, so Dragon, let's talk about I honestly don't have as big of a rant for this as you probably think I'm gonna have. But honestly, Dragon, I have one word for Disney when it comes to why didn't they put this on Disney in theaters, and that's come on. Honestly, it's put it at for this, it's like you could do it how Warner Brothers is doing it for this one occasion, Dragon. I just want to see this movie in theaters. This is a beautiful looking movie. I love the town that this movie creates. It's like a theme park representation of Italy, and I say that in the best of ways. It's kind of like all the Italian culture that that Pixar can kind of cram into just kind of like a little town. It's great. I love some of the shots in this thing, especially some of the nighttime shots. So I don't know, Drake. I don't want to. I honestly don't feel like getting all high on my horse about this, but I really do want to see this on the big screen, man. Come on.
Yeah, it would have been cool.
All right, so with that in mind, Dragon, do you have any other background you want to get into, or should we just go right into our little 3-act structure here?
Let's just dive. Let's talk the movie. Let's start Act 1. Let's talk stuff that happens in the sea.
Okay, so I do like the cold open. I think it started. I like the record player. I thought would be a bigger symbol of the movie than it ended up being, but I did like the symbol.
Yeah, we kind of, it's kind of funny how we reverse engineer a part of your world in a sense. We kind of have like the underwater items that kind of like get used for a practical purpose outside of our one awesome set piece in Little Mermaid.
Right. Yeah, the movie literally starts with like, okay, here's a bunch of human stuff. Like I said, I do like the vibe that the opening scene sets off with, kind of like the fear of the fish people, the sea creatures, and
sea monsters.
Yeah, it kind of gives off like a vaguely Jaws vibe.
Yeah, it's a fishing town, and of course, what's the escalation of, again, so if you have sentient, basically a bunch of creatures from the Black Lagoon monsters, it's kind of like that's kind of a Jaws that can walk on land. That's pretty scary to the Italian kind of fishing village.
Sure, but then I don't know, Dragon. I thought like basically the first half of Act 1, all the establishing Luca stuff, it was super messy, man. It was super messy. I'm very curious how you feel about it, because to me, I don't know. I like I said, I was definitely like at the start, I was like, oh no, is this going to be another Good Dinosaur? Oh God.
Okay, well, first off, so just talking about Luca himself, just kind of that opening. So Jacob Tremblay, the kid from Room, not The Room.
The kid from the room. Hey, it's Denny.
Not him. So of course, he was the kid from Room with Brie Larson, which was a good Brie Larson performance. This was he was great. I thought he was great as the earnest kid. I think just in the role of he's the earnest kid. He's I love the idea that undersea, we're kind of undersea around the Italian coast, and it's just kind of this. It kind of works and functions as like an Italian countryside, which I thought was really genius. Hence the farming. I thought that was kind of cool.
The farming didn't work for me, man. I don't know.
I mean, look, T, I'm with you to the extent of but for me, I think the third act is probably the best part of the film. Now,
definitely.
The first act. I mean, I'm saying I'm not super crazy about it, but at least I like in terms of our setting. Like, I get the farming. I think the farming works a lot better here than it does necessarily the Good Dinosaur, in a sense, in that they're both. I mean, I don't. Let me redact that. I like how they both kind of assist the genres and kind of the settings that they're in. Okay, I like that, but it's not my favorite part of the movie though. It's cute. It's cute.
I feel like Act 1 is kind of like an awkward sort of like. There's a very blatant Little Mermaidism in there with like the items that fall to the sea that Luca takes an interest in. And then there's also Dragon. This is kind of like the comparison that it's unfortunate and I hate to nitpick it. But like I said, man, it's like we're in these underwater settings, and these underwater settings, they feel lifeless compared to Nemo.
Well, again, it's a little different, though.
I
Again,
understand that it's different. I'm just saying, like, you need something that's visually appealing to me, and to me, it's like you don't necessarily have to have like like a ton of kinetic energy in life, but you gotta have something that's visually stimulating. And to me, with the underwater scenes, it's just kind of like a bunch of aqua blue.
all right. Well, regardless, again, it's a fish out of water tail, so not going to be in water for long. Hence the point.
I get you.
But just to talk about I want to talk about Luca's family, though. I believe the Paguro family, if I remember the last.
His mother was probably the most surprising element of the movie to me.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Maya Rudolph in the role. I thought she did a great job.
She was great, man. Classic Italian mama vibes.
My favorite bit, and I love this as a runner that was established in Act 1. This is real nice. The whole look me in the eye so I know you know I love you, right? Like that was a nice.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that actually got me teary-eyed at the end
right?
when they called that back. Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah. I mean, it was an easy Pixar tear factory go to, but man, it worked.
Also, just to give major points, Grandma used very sparingly but very effectively. Grandma being
pretty much the stereotypical like grandmother Willow, grandmother from Moana, like like, oh, follow your dreams, child. I'm not going to stop you. But they kind of make a fun spin on her, because how I kind of write her is that she's kind of like the grandma that goes off to Vegas on the weekends.
Yeah.
And Vegas happens to be the surface.
Yeah, she's on Luca's side. She supports the visit to the surface because she's done it. He's a good kid. Let him cut loose now and again. Come on, and much like Luke Skywalker, farm life, it gets old. He dreams of something a little bigger, which then brings us to his friend Alberto. He meets Alberto. Alberto is voiced by Jack Dylan Grazer. This kid was he was Freddie Freeman. He was Freddie from Shazam. You remember the kid on the crutches who was
okay,
and right, from It. Right. I don't know what role he was in It. I think you know that, but yeah.
Okay. Let's see. He was probably Eddie in It. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
There you go. I love that he's now like the go-to in Hollywood for like the ambitious friend role of like we need the friend who's going to kind of zhuzh our protagonist into the position that our namesake character.
It's funny because I feel like Jacob Tremblay is like the go-to like protagonist. Like, I mean, at this point he's kind of a teenager, but protagonist like young man.
Yeah.
So I feel like it is funny that they did get these two, because you're right, they do, both of them feel like the go-to kid actors for their respective roles right now.
Yeah, and I think they complement each other well. Just kind of mixing them together here. So, we have the idea here being Alberto's like a year older than Luca, and he has like some wisdom, and he basically, he's been to the surface, and he's kind of like, showing like, come on, step on the wild side a little bit. Let me show you what the surface is like. Live it up a little bit. We have some fun bits of, basically we start simple, we're like, you showed them how to learn to walk on land once. The idea, of course, here being our sea monsters, when they go on land, they can turn human. Mm-hmm. Which is really cool effect, by the way, is the way they keep doing that.
I've heard people nitpicking that, like, oh, why does that happen? What are the rules? And I'm like, it's a fucking Pixar movie, dude.
It's very simple. They go.
I know. It's like most of the tension in this movie is like water is bad.
Yes, I mean if you're wet, it's like if you get wet,
it's
then
pretty
then
simple
it's like water.
rules. I don't know what the hell is up with this whole like, oh well, this doesn't make sense. That's a plot. It's like get over it, man. And that's coming from someone where plot holes like destroyed The Dark Knight Rises for me, but. In this case, it's like, get over it. God, it's not even a plot hole. It's just a fairy tale. Jesus.
So the point being, this is where the heart of the story is, I think, for the director here, where it's like, you meet a friend during the summer and it becomes like, like a great experience. We're like, hey, they're sharing these dreams of having a Vespa, which leads to them like, building a fake Vespa, out of like the collection that Alberto has, and like they're basically, because they're sea monsters. Like, we're gonna build a ramp, build a Vespa, we're gonna go down a big hill, and we're gonna jump, but we're not gonna go anywhere because we're sea monsters. We're gonna dive into the water. Be all that effort for like a day wasted just to build a Vespa. It's gonna get wrecked, but it'll be fun though.
Okay, can I just say the passage of time gag was super realistic, right?
Yep, it was. It was great.
We've all been there. That brought me back, man. That brought me. Oh God! And let me just say, this is a great summer movie.
It is. That's exactly. Yes, it is a great summer movie. Yeah,
I feel like this is a perfect like Pixar summer watch. I
agree.
And because of that, I'm kind of okay with it being a little bit more lean on the substance.
Yeah, I mean, how many summer movies have we seen that are lean and so forgettable? This is like lean and just like it's comfy.
I mean, it's like Recess, School's Out, and that's about it as far as Disney summer movies go.
Pretty much. Also,
the movie too, of course.
I know. I was wondering if you're gonna.
Just throwing that out there.
All right, so I love the ramp gag too. When he's holding up the ramp, this is like, I'm more of an idea man. I've been there. I've been that kid. Like, I'm more of an idea. I shouldn't be out here doing this. Let's see. So let's also Luca's suggestion to build the Vespa. So again, Luca is contributing a lot in kind of the friendship towards the Vespa dream. It is very much a shared dream. But again, we have like the jaunty Italian kind of summer soundtrack, which I really love. Just kind of
I really like the soundtrack too.
Yeah, it's great. And then I think my favorite runner in the movie is the Silencio Bruno lesson. Just quiet that voice of doubt and fear. Embrace the courage and adventure. And I wonder, my headcanon, I wonder this. Could Bruno, because he could have picked any name, could Bruno be the boy's father? Could Bruno be Alberto's father's name?
Ooh, possibly.
Because obviously, as we learn later, Alberto's got kind of a tricky relationship with his father, and it's a question of perhaps like Lucas says, why is he called Bruno? It doesn't matter why he's called Bruno. It's just like, I don't know. He's gonna brush that aside. So we're having nothing but good times with these guys. But again, we need an occasion for story to kind of take our fish out of the water proper. So we gotta get him close to the Vespa. So Luca is found out by his parents. He's inevitably caught by his mother. I love Jim Gaffigan's Lorenzo just as the father.
It's a perfect Jim Gaffigan character design, right?
Yes, and I love him like being sympathetic towards bringing down the hammer that mom's doing here. Just like, I'm sorry, son, but you're in trouble. Oh boy, and Danielle is just very stubborn here about going to the surface. It's forbidden, and which leads to the overreaction of, I'm going to set again to protect her son. And again, this is sort of like it's kind of an old school. Again, this is kind of set in the kind of 50s to the 60s. It's kind of like an ambiguous setting. So it doesn't really matter, but it's a nice kind of almost Peanuts logic. Like it's kind of between the 50s and the 60s. So it's kind of that old school Italian logic of like, let's send the loved ones away to protect them. Kind of the old school parenting logic there, where we're going to send them to the countryside if something goes south.
I feel like, I don't know, man. To me, I read it as a metaphor, but
well, fair enough.
I don't want to dive too deep into the metaphor because I feel like I can't really speak to it from personal experience. I'll speak more to it when we get to the Alberto side of things, but
sure.
The point being, there's a theme in this movie of both of the parents kind of suppressing the children's desires and identities, right. And you see where I'm going.
Well, even so, Tiki, I'm saying just the move of like either to protect or just to like what you think is right. You're going to send the kid away. I'm saying that's the move. Yeah. You send the kid away. And in this case, it's sending him away to his uncle, Uncle Ugo. Let's talk about Uncle Ugo for a second.
I mean, it's a very brief role, but
yeah, one of your guys plays him though.
Oh God, who is it?
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Well, I wouldn't consider. I mean, I like Sacha Baron Cohen.
You blow about Sacha Baron Cohen a lot, Tiki.
I wouldn't consider him one of my guys, though, Dragon. You have to be in a You have to be in an elite club to be one of my guys.
All right, fine, but Uncle Lugo, I just love he's like the creepy, see-through, fun uncle who's really fun. It's just a really funny idea. Just this anglerfish brother of Lorenzo, Uncle Lugo, and I just love this guy. Like, just punch him in the heart, son.
Just punch him in the heart, son. I'm going to need you to punch him in the heart.
He's not used like this much because he's so down low. He's not used to that much oxygen. It's hilarious. It just goes on about darkness and whale carcass and everything. It's as creepy as all get out. And this is where we have like the separation. He doesn't look mom in the eye, and he kind of runs away because I don't want to go with Uncle. Who would want to go with Uncle Luga? No one ever thinks about. Does this not seem suspect at all?
It's a terrifying prospect, Dragon. Honestly,
Yep.
It's just like, yeah, I'm gonna take you, like, it's like you're so you're at the surface and you love the surface, and no, I'm gonna take you directly away from that down to the depths, way darker and more in the depths than you've ever seen in your life. It just sounds miserable.
Yeah, and then so basically this results in the boys getting the idea of, okay, let's go to town, let's find Senor Vespa, because there's got to be a Senor Vespa, right? We're gonna find Mr. Vespa, and we're gonna ask him. They're asking to build us a Vespa so we can go and be free. And I guess I love the Vespa is a great symbol for the movie because the Vespa is a symbol of kind of like the freedom and drifter life. But I love it's a graduation from the bike being the item of a child to the Vespa being like, it's what a kid thinks like this is what all adults should have, a Vespa. It's the cool version of the bike, the motorized bike.
My grandpa actually owned a Vespa when I was a kid, and I have memories of riding around in it.
Yeah.
Cool. And also, like I said, I just need to reemphasize fucking Epcot. Like, you don't even have to do a whole expansion of Italy. Just literally put a Vespa people mover. That's all I want. Just Vespas just seem like such a cool Disney ride vehicle to me.
But it's a great coming-of-age vehicle for your teen protagonist. It is like it's not like a motorcycle. It just feels a little more artful. It feels just right. All right, so that brings us to Act 2. So we go to Porto Rosso.
I love this town.
Porto Rosso is great. Porto Rosso has always been great. No, to be honest, it was a real town, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So, Porto Rosso, let's talk about the 70s. It's a beautiful seaside town in Italy. Again, this is at circa, the 50s and 60s, which I love, by the way. Just put the 50s, 60s setting on the download. It's like, it's literally
bathing suits.
What?
The wool bathing suits.
No, that's great. That's great. I was thinking more so. I love the just the fact that this is like the era of the Creature from the Black Lagoon, which makes the sea monsters things even better. When you think about
you're
it.
right. I didn't even think.
So I just love that detail. Like, yeah, if it is in the 50s, that's the perfect time to set it with the Creature from the Black Lagoon era. Anyway, so obviously every time we go to this town, it makes it really nostalgic and really thinking back to Porco Rosso, which is awesome. And again, Miyazaki vibes.
Every time they say the name of the town, I immediately go to Porco Rosso, which
it's really great, though.
Dragon. Porco Rosso is like by no means the most ambitious or artistic Miyazaki movie.
Probably my favorite, though.
God damn, it's my favorite. It's my favorite. I unequivocally, yes.
I got to get more Miyazaki in, but so far it's always been my favorite. So yeah, I love it. So I love Porto Rosso has two great movies to represent it now. It's got Luca and it's got Porto Rosso.
That's funny.
It's like feathers in Porto Rosso's cap. But yeah, I loved it.
Again, Disney, you need to make a Porto Rosso expansion to Epcot. Come on, please.
So I love our little fish out of water kind of literalized here, as it just feels like they've washed up as the out of towners, kind of being seen as as they first arrive here. We have a whole "What's wrong with your stupido?" Per example of fish out of water, which of course when you say this to old ladies, you get hit by purses, but you also get ice cream or gelato, depending. Did you think it was gelato or ice cream?
Oh, it's got to be gelato,
right?
There's no way it's ice cream.
My assumption was gelato.
Italian, yeah.
But every time I look at it, though, it's like, is it?
I don't even know if they make ice cream in Italy. Honestly,
that's the thing because I know that, but here's the thing: when I look at it, though, it just looks like isn't gelato come in a cup though? Do they do gelato?
No, they do cones. They do.
Okay,
cones.
They do. Okay, well then, all right, then it's gelato. It has to be.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so also we have a comment. Fireblast Studios says they went to the trouble of converting this movie for 3D, only for it to go straight to Disney Plus.
All right, now the thing about this is like I genuinely I want to say this is a serious comment, but I'm not entirely sure just because I don't know when the last time Disney's done a 3D anything is. But if it's a serious comment, like genuinely, Pixar is one of the few studios where Dragon, I will still go out of my way to see Pixar movies in 3D if they are released in 3D.
Can't remember if I saw Up in 3D. I might have. I'm not sure.
I'm pretty damn sure I saw Coco in 3D. I'm pretty damn sure. At least once. Because I know I saw Coco in theaters like 6 times. So, anyways.
Let me tell you what I love about Porto Rosso, and as a setting as it's represented here. I love that it feels like, this is going to be a weird analogy, it feels like, it's like the hub, it's like a hub of New York carved into a natural setting. Because just the town itself feels
like I said, it kind of feels like an amalgamation of different Italian cultures, you know? And that's kind of the New York vibe you're getting.
Yeah, exactly. I love that it is kind of a melting pot within just you know, like the original melting pot, I guess. I don't know. I love it. It's so lovely. I just love like the nice kind of built-in community and everything. I love how it looks like it's like a New York setting just cobbled in there versus like a built city structure. It feels like art, like very artisanal. You know, it's just very kind of like carved in there.
Like I said, it feels like a theme park Italy, and I say that in the best of ways. You know, it feels
because it is kind of cut off from everything else. You know, it's not quite the countryside, and it's not quite the city.
Okay, so Fireblast Studios, just confirm, it is mentioned in the credits under under stereoscopic 3D. Okay, so yeah, Fireblast.
There you go.
Yeah, like I said, if I did have the opportunity to see it in 3D, I absolutely would. I love Pixar movies in 3D. One of the few studios that I will actually go out of my way to see it in 3D.
We also established in the town, it's the sea monster hunting town with all the statues and everything.
I love that, man. I love the real building there. I think it's subtle, but really well done. I love that it's like a fishing village and they're all paranoid. Like you said, it's kind of like got a Creature from the Black Lagoon vibe a little bit.
Yep. And again, it's also really great too that just living in the town is that it's so straightforward. Now we've set up everything we need to set up for Act 3 for our race and the environment. We've set up again because it's I don't know, it's not massive. It's just, you're right. The theme park. I think I'm just trying to rephrase the theme park thing, but I can't because it's a perfect analogy. It is very theme park. Because again, it's just that much landscape has been established, and that's as much landscape as we need. It's all we need.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
All right.
Would you like to know another criticism I've heard about this movie that's going to drive you fucking crazy?
Oh God, what is it now?
No, the plot is paper thin. All they're doing is competing in a silly tournament.
They want a Vespa. That's how they get the Vespa.
I mean, first of all, it's like I would kind of get how just wanting a Vespa would be paper thin. If the whole idea of the movie wasn't just kind of like a summer fantasy sort of deal, and B, if they literally didn't have fantasy sequences of them riding the Vespa. That stinks, man.
Yeah.
By the way, really quick, what do you think of the fantasy scenes? Because like I said, I think in some ways they are kind of like they're kind of like silly little mini La Lunas.
Yeah, especially when they're I forget if the Vespa was worked into this scene, but when they're going into the stars and the stars are fish, that was the most La Luna-esque kind of moment.
Totally.
Yeah, sure. So speaking of Vespas, let's begin the quest for the Vespas. We got to talk about Ercole Visconti.
Yeah, so this guy was, I believe that one of our good friends actually came in and modeled for Pixar for this character.
Yeah, must have, yeah.
Oh, man. Rob, this looks so much like you.
I wasn't going to bring it up. He did it, but...
No, okay, here's the thing. When I was first watching the movie, I didn't really get the vibe, but then... Dragon, you didn't have to say who it was. You just said, like, hey, does the villain from Luca remind you of anyone? And I was like, okay, I'm going to see if it reminds... And then I was like, oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I saw it. I was just like, it's so ridiculously... It was distractingly
uncanny. It's distracting. It really... I mean, not only... Like, I don't really feel like the characterization is there. Like, I don't think that's how Monkey would act in real life. but the voice, the cadence, the mannerisms, the look, it's oh my god.
Yeah.
It was kind of crazy,
Yeah,
honestly.
okay, he's in a Pixar movie. You can do a lot worse.
Right?
You can
Just
do
do
a
with
lot
that what you
worse.
will, monkey. I honestly think you could get a ton of like fun screen caps out of that.
Little
But
sweater. Anyway, okay. So just to talk about Visconti here. So again, the overprivileged jerk. That's Visconti here. He corrupts the humble demeanor of the town. I love how humble the town is. Then this guy shows up, and to me, and I could be reading into this, mind you, but to me, it feels like it feels kind of like we took almost like a negative, like the movie again is very on brand. We took almost like a negative egotistical Italian stereotype and we villainized it because it's an insulting stereotype. We've taken that. It's like just the very prideful, the very we've made like exuberance of pride like unappealing as it should be. I thought that was clever. I'll be reading
yeah,
into it, but I
definitely.
liked it.
Cars 3 had that like one like random fucking like Italian stereotype villain.
Well, wait,
And I feel like what?
are you thinking of Cars 2 with
I
Frank
think I
Belli?
am. Yes, yes. I am
I'm sorry,
thinking of
just
Cars
just
2.
Francesco Bernoulli. I'm thinking of an artist. Sorry, Francesco Bernoulli. Yeah,
uh but uh but yeah, this guy is like him, but he actually has a character. And it's not just like, hey, Italian jerk.
yeah. It's not just John Turturro with wheels.
Right, right.
Yeah, so he basically this character, he flaunts his Porto Rosso Cup wins like crazy. I love that again. He embodies kind of the affluence of Italy. He's the fashion. He's got the wool
Yeah,
sweater, the Vespa, and again, like most 80s bullies, which with that sweater, he looks exactly. It's summer. He doesn't need a sweater.
right.
He's an 80s bully to a T. His visage and everything, and on the Vespa, and I just love that
He's got
to me.
a little bit of like a sophisticated Biff Tannen vibe going on, right? Just
Yeah,
a little bit with the way he
it's kind of
antagonizes people.
it's kind of Biff Tannen and a Weasley Gaston. That's kind of it, is like
Uh-huh,
kind of a
uh-huh.
Weasley Gaston. But regardless, I love. To me, it seems like he like like most '80s bullies. He's covering the insecurity over. I think his appearance with the whole catfish whiskers thing, which we make fun for later. Kind of like we have glorious mustaches in this film. That's like the most pathetic mustache you've ever seen.
For the
And
record, I have seen Monkey with a better mustache than that. So
sure. And let's see. So the other thing too is that again he's aged out of the Porto Rosso Cups. He's just clinging on to the victories that he's had. And he's basically just trying to cling on for dear life, just to feel important, to feel superior. And assumingly he's cheated through all these Porto Rosso Cups, by the way, just given his performance here.
so that's a little bit of Sebulba too.
Yep, yep, a little bit. So yeah, he's resting on his laurels to feel important and putting others down. Real prick, this guy.
I mean, he's a prick, but I like that he's not like evil though.
True, just but you're right. Just very, he's not like pure evil. Then he was trying to
At
kill
the
sea
end of the
monsters.
day, he's kind of just like a spoiled brat more than anything
You're
else.
right about that, but he was trying to kill our protagonist.
True.
Then
True.
again, I don't know. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It's a murky line because again, he's viewing them as
But I do
monsters.
like
But
that we go that far, though. I do
yeah,
like that we go that far, because I feel like a lot of it's like that does make him a legitimate threat.
yeah. And
So,
again, it's like he's doing a lot of unlikable things for sure. But you're right though. Not again because of mustache twirl. There we go. Not mustache twirly.
all right. So, Dragon, let's talk about the heart of the movie, man.
Yes,
Julia and her
Julia.
father.
Yes.
Oh my god.
So Julia,
I was
fellow
not
underdog.
expecting to like Julia nearly as much as I did, Dragon. This character was a big surprise for me.
Very solid character, very determined, very Peanuts like. I felt that she was the most Peanuts
Totally.
like
Yeah,
character.
I could see that. Yeah.
Really enjoyed her. I just love she's the opposite of Visconti, because she doesn't have the means. Her father's struggling to kind of pay the entry fee. She puts in the work. She's a real go getter, real Charlie hustle, to put in Better Call Saul terms. I just love the trio kind of forged the friendship and alliance for this whole triathlon team. They both kind of she wants the glory of beating this punk. And they get the used. I love the used Vespa thing, by the way. I
I
love that their
love that
goal
her
is.
motivation in this movie is like just as simple as that she wants to win and say, "Hey, I told you so."
Yep, and beat his evil empire.
Yes, right. I love the evil empire runner. But honestly, Dragon, I love that. I love that. That's kind of like, again, the more I think about the movie and the more I digest it, the more that the low stakes kind of work in the movie's favor. Does that make sense?
They do, and I love. Here's a great Pixar details, classic Pixar to a T. I love that the boys are trying to get not a brand new not a brand spanking new Vespa, but a used Vespa that looks like crud.
Right. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah.
That's to a T. Like that's all they need. Because again, it's a realistic kid detail. Like they're going to go with what they can afford. Like yes, looks awesome.
Right. Totally.
It's perfect. But no, I agree with you. Yeah, it's
okay.
Yeah. So let's talk. We got to talk Massimo.
Yeah. So Monkey makes a good point. Love how the father's missing arm was something he was born with. Yeah, that was great. That was a great little touch.
Yeah.
Massimo is like low key the best character in the movie.
He's my favorite. Look, if I had to pick one favorite, as much as I love Julie, I'm going to pick Massimo. All right, I'm sorry, I'm going to pick Massimo.
I mean, he is like up there with like the all-time great Pixar dads, Dragon.
Yes, he is. So I love. They did like a little collage. Well, I don't think it has much polish as I would have liked to see the little Father's Day montage, and remember Father's Day happened after Luca came out, so they had Luca clips in there of Massimo, so it was nice. So they put him in the ranks already. But yeah, I love Julie's father so much. He's a hulk of a fisherman. He looks very intimidating. Born with one arm, which was a great distinction.
Mm-hmm.
But he makes up for it with a mastery of knives, and also he's a great cook. He makes excellent pesto. I just love as imposing
food animation. I'm sorry, we have to pause.
Yeah, okay,
food animation. Goddamn, this movie might be. Dragon, I honestly think that this movie eclipsed Ratatouille for me personally, as far as food animation goes, just because I'm an Italian myself, and I totally buy into the stereotype that we love pasta. And my God, if this isn't some delicious as hell looking pasta, Dragon.
Now, to be fair, if I recall, there was no pasta in Ratatouille.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, I'm saying with Ratatouille, I'm saying like I would personally rather eat the food in Luca than Ratatouille, generally speaking. Like Ratatouille as a dish does not, I would personally probably never order it.
It looks amazing though. Doesn't it look amazing though?
Visually, yes, but it's just all the ingredients in it are just not. I'm not a vegetable guy. I don't know.
See, I'm going to tell you the Italian version of Ratatouille, I would eat in a heartbeat. Okay. If it was sliced pepperoni.
Oh my God.
Okay, if they took pepperoni and they sliced it and they put it in like the Ratatouille form, that would be my dream come true.
Yeah, but that's not the same thing, though.
No, I'm just saying it's like everything. It's all sliced and put in the bowl. That's my dream. Don't take my dream away from me. That's what I want.
God, okay, I won't.
That's all I want. Anyway.
All right. Oh man.
Yeah, regardless. Okay, all right, off the food tangent. Back to the. It is great though. I do love how the pasta does play a role in the story, and that the ideas of the pasta company sponsors the Poderosa Cup. Ergo, why we have like a random. We have to eat pasta in the middle of the triathlon.
Okay,
it seems like a bad idea.
When I first heard about that as a story plot point, I was like, wait, what? Like, is that? Like that seems kind of stupid and also kind of like stereotypical Italian. But also, like, I love that not only is it, like, the sponsorship thing makes sense in context, but I love how it's, like, a really big character builder for Julia because, the last year she puked, and very rightfully so, Dragon. Pasta is a very fucking full, filling dish.
And again, the idea being, if she's doing it alone, she has to do all three things, which is why that happened.
Right.
That's the risk.
So,
it's dragging her down because she's been alone all these years. Anyway, but so back to Massimo. So, look at Massimo again, just imposing Italian with a mustache. Even his cat has a mustache. Just to show you how imposing this man is.
Okay, that cat is low-key like one of the funniest characters in the movie. Try again.
You remember what the cat's name is, don't you?
Do I? I don't think I do.
Machiavelli.
Machiavelli, that's perfect. I just love the suspicious eyes, just the
Yeah,
running gag of that. It's great.
I know you're fish people. I'm looking at you. But that's what I'm saying. I love that. Despite all that imposing this thing, as you would think would be stereotypical or something, it's like you just think, okay, just giant and imposing it. You have a big burly mustache. It's like Cavill all over again. I
Uh-huh.
just love that. Despite all that, just such a big softy for his daughter, and he grows to love the boys. And
I love how quickly he grows a bond with the boys, man. It's God. Like I feel like my adoration, my any sort of adoration I have for the two leads is kind of like through him, honestly.
sure, like the boys save his bacon with the fish, which was really
Yeah,
nice. Like
yeah.
I only catch that many fish, and he's really struggling. And I love the whole. I love he has an emotional reason and a financial reason not to help out Julia there. And I just love the intimacy where you think they went into another room and you realize, oh no, they sleep in the same room as the kitchen. It's a really small house.
Mhm.
Or just like I Julia, you got so upset. I can't stand to see you get so upset when you lose the race, and it was just so beautiful. I love it. And again, despite the fact that his profession is fishing and hunting sea monsters, it's just kind of great to see all that.
Yeah, that's a great subversion too, because of course when we first see him, we're like, oh boy, is this guy gonna pose a problem? And it's like, no, not at all, not in the slightest.
And he's all about hunting sea monsters too. Like, he's the one who believes in it too. Like, he's really
Yeah,
hunting for
yeah.
them. All right, let's see. So we set up the school idea that Luca is drawn to, exploring more of the surface world via education. It seems like he has a real interest in astronomy. Which I think the logic being kind of like what we saw in the fantasy sequence. It's like the sea in space. It's like, how can you go undersea but going even further up in the surface? So I love just kind of that sandwich effect you have. You got space, land, and then sea. It's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, so things are going great. We're training a lot. We're doing some fun stuff, but of course, we hit some lows. So what happens, Tiki?
Oh God, remind me the exact details, so I can
Well,
probably piece them together more than I can.
the simple way of summing it up is that Alberto, all this during our montage, Alberto's been feeling that Julia is replacing him as Luca's friend, which leads to kind of a reckless kind of play for status quo of Act One.
Right.
Like, hey, let's ride down the hill, like we did on the island, which of course now it's more populated, and oh my God, we're gonna land the water, which could blow our cover and everything. So that's Luca calls Alberto out. You don't know everything. Julia showed me this. Like, you're wrong about this. My parents are in town. They're looking for me. I'm dry land, which is funny, by the way. Just dunking all the kids in the water and just having a grand old time. So again, like Alberto has not been the most attentive friend in terms of listening to what Luke is saying. He's just kind of been going like Vespa, Vespa, Vespa. That's what we're doing here. And basically Louis calls him out on this, and then we have the reverse of that. Of like, you think you can't go to school with her, Lucas. You're a sea monster. It won't work long term. What are you thinking? They're never going to accept us. Well, you and I are we only have each other. And then of course he demonstrates this reality by revealing himself to Julia as a sea monster, which does not go well.
Yeah, so I feel like this is it's honestly a pretty realistic like dynamic of a three-person friendship. I feel like three-person friendships almost inevitably like end up like this, especially if you're spending all your time together.
Yeah, yeah.
So I do really like I do really like the realism there. It's another thing that kind of like speaks to the summer vacation of it all. Kind of like I do think that they build up the jealousy a little too quickly. If I'm being honest with you, I feel like it.
You might be right. You might be right.
It honestly feels like it kind of happens through a montage, and that's almost like I know it's not technically a montage, but it happens so quick it kind of feels like a montage.
I mean, I think I would equate it to a montage. Honestly, it feels there's music going on in the sequence as we kind of see it happening, but I don't know.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of built up maybe a hair before that, but you're right.
Yeah, I do like how naturally it happens though, because the father kind of calls him away to help him with something, and then him and Luca and Julia get to bonding, and I do like it's like there's clearly and obviously, Dragon, one of the big strengths of this movie that, my God, I give them so much credit for, not doing this, man. They resisted the temptation to make it a love triangle, and
I
thank
know they did.
fucking God. I mean,
Yeah.
not only are these characters too young to be in a love triangle with each other, but I mean, it's just such a cliche at this point, and we just avoided that. It's like
It's
they're
been
they're,
done,
they're
but you know what it
kids,
is? It's the summer. It's you have your summer friend, and then you've been usurped by a new summer friend.
Exactly.
Like, imagine you go on a
Totally.
trip and you bring a friend, then you have your summer vacation friend.
Right.
That's kind of what it is.
Yeah, I will admit, Dragon, I do have anxiety about this sort of situation coming up when I have like like when I'm going on a trip and I'm like, okay, like let's say like me and this person will go on a trip and then we're meeting up with a person that's going to be at the park with us. Like
Sure.
for example, me and Ezra met up with Mickey Fan the last time I was in Florida. That was a perfect example of like, oh God, I really hope Ezra doesn't feel like me and Alex are kind of like usurping him. You know what I mean? I was kind of like,
Right.
I remember the whole day I was with them, I was kind of trying to be like, all right, Ezra, like like I'm here for you too, So it could be a challenge. It could be a challenge when you're in a position like that. Anyways.
Yeah, well, two things we should hit, and then we'll go to Act 3, which will go by like so big moment with that sea monster reveal was, Luca takes humanity's side, and that really hurts Alberto. Like the whole moment, it's a sea monster.
That was like a realistically hurtful moment. Yeah, I was kind of surprised. That was probably the boldest choice that that the movie made, I thought.
And that speaks to what you're saying at the top here. Again, the deeper we go into this movie, the more and more Pixar like it becomes. It's like that moment, like, yes, totally. I'm deep into a Pixar movie.
To me, the movie kind of morphs from like a good DreamWorks movie into a great Pixar movie. I
mean, I guess, sure, yeah. So with that moment, it's kind of like the societal parallel of like you're fearing prejudice and you want acceptance, so you kind of
again a little shade of LGBT too.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it could be anything. It could be like just like knowing like secrets or sure. So also Julia though, here's my favorite subversion from a cliche. Okay, we pulverize the liar reveal. We don't do it here.
Oh yeah, God.
Okay,
I know,
so
right?
Julia, she's trying to splash. Spazzing
she's shocked,
out, but like Luca's starting to freak out, and she splashes him, and of course we reveal, oh God, you're a sea monster too, and she realizes it, and she's not mad at all. There's no liar thing. You lied to me. None of that. And it's just like she's just questioning. You risk all of your safety in a fishing village for a Vespa, and she's being a good friend, saying, "No, we can't do this, man. I don't like. I've been really happy here, but we can't. I don't want to risk your life doing this." She's being really responsible there, and I also a little detail. I love that Massimo is looking for Alberto when he's missing. That's really sweet. I love that they've kind of developed somewhat of a father figure bond in the background. It's kind of nice. I don't know, might be reach, but I thought it was there. Okay, that brings us to Act 3. So Act 3, we get a little bit of Alberto's backstory, not a lot. We learn why he was on the island, why he was kind of going to the surface, and why he was there.
I mean, it's pretty much a dad went out for smokes kind of story, right?
Pretty much. He said he was going, and basically he's been there for days, probably close to a year. I don't know. He's just been gone for ages. And his father left, and again, this is where I'm thinking Massimo's kind of he's already a mentor. Perhaps making that mentor story even better is kind of the father figure filling in a sense.
And I feel like this is where the LGBT themes kind of like hit the hardest for me if they are there, because the fact that Luca and Alberto both come from from broken families who don't necessarily agree with their lifestyle, who more or less I mean, of course, obviously Luca's family is a lot more supportive than Alberto's, but they did try and send him down into a fucking deep dark trench. It's like they did try to literally suppress his lifestyle.
That is true. Yes.
So yeah, I very much feel like it's I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to speak too much on this because I can't speak from personal experience on it. But like I said, if the coding is there, like I do think it's super positive if people do read into it.
Right.
Right.
So, in response to this, Luca, he's made the abandonment issues worse for this kid, whatever it may be, and he's basically determined to win the Vespa single-handedly to make their dream. We can make all your dreams come true. Basically, we're chasing the film's MacGuffin, which is the Vespa. So that brings us
Uh-huh.
to the race. And the race, we've already kind of isolated the whole sponsorship angle, which is really great. Race is pretty simple. I love how we set everything up so well. We swim a lap, which we have the diver suit, which is how they met. We kind of bring that back into the race. How Luca can go into the water and kind of endure that. He has to eat the pasta, which we've set up the fork running gag, which we bring back.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the bike, which again, it's you got to go downhill to the dock, which is where they entered into the town. And again, the bike being the symbol of the Vespa. Like they start off on kind of a bike going downhill, and yeah, so it's the race again. It takes me back to a Race for Your Life trailer, Browns. It's real nice. It's a wonderful third act. It's very simple, very straightforward. We're racing to the finish of the movie.
Of course, you got the rain as a tension point, which is a very natural conclusion to the whole water is bad.
Let me tell you how jazzed I am about the rain. Okay, so
years
later,
how jazzed you are about the rain?
Oh, I'm so jazzed about the rain because the rain is the matchstick moment of the movie. Because you think, okay, we're just going to race to the end, and the rain happens, and the rain's like a gobsmack. Like, now, this was not the matchstick moment for this movie, but again, it pulls me all the way back to A Bug's Life, where we're in the third act, and like, what's the one complication we're gonna have right now? It's raining. Like, oh my god, it's rain from a bug's perspective, like SUVs dropping from the sky. And in this case, it's like one thing that could gum up the works here. Well, yeah, it could rain. We set up in in the background of one scene, they wake up and like, oh, it must have rained last night. It's like, oh my god, I completely forgot about that. It could rain, and it's raining, and they're gonna get caught now. So then we have Luca's opportunity for change as Alberto is trying to save his bacon here, like as our Weasley Gaston Visconti here is about to slay Alberto. It's like, oh god, do I stand by my friend? Do I stay under the?
And I mean, like we said, the fact that guy is willing to outright kill our main character is like, I mean, honestly, we haven't seen that in a Pixar antagonist in a while, Dragon.
Not in a while. You're right about that. I mean, yeah. Well, we've had like conspiracy as a murder, but never like outright, I'm going to kill you.
Well, I guess technically, didn't De La Cruz throw Miguel off a cliff or something?
Well, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I was thinking conspiracy with Coco, but you're right. Later on, he just threw Miguel off though.
Yeah, he straight up. So that.
All right, fine. Fine. Okay, you're right. Trying to murder a child in a Pixar film. Okay, got it. Anyway, of course, Luca, he chooses this time to stand by his friend, save him, and then we have, Julia, she sacrificed her win to, for her friend's well-being. Good friend there. Great moment for Julia. And then we have, for me, my favorite moment in the whole film. Beautiful moment. My favorite Massimo moment, where he puts the pieces together. He sees the two sea monsters helping his daughter as she's fallen to, kind of like stop Visconti from winning the race and also kill him. Just helping his daughter, like helping her on her feet and everything, and he realized it's the boys that he's grown fond of the entire movie, and it's like they're all afraid of you, and then he just stops like, I know who they are.
Yeah,
they are Luca and Alberto, and they are the winners. It's like, oh, Massimo, I love you, buddy.
Totally.
Like, and then they toss that punk in the water, and then Luca's mother, she's so impressed and proud of his she's gotten over the hump of like, I'm worried about him on land. We've gotten past the whole, the prejudice of sea monsters. We're all good. And
I really feel like the ending, it's like, it's simple. Not the ending, not the train ending, but like the resolution to the sea monster thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's simple, but like I feel like it's such a quaint little metaphor for getting past prejudice, right?
I agree. Yes. Again, it's just we can.
I love how it's like we reveal that the two old ladies were sea monsters. That's like, okay, you know what? What are we doing? Like, what are we doing here? It's like, these people pose no threat. We're fine.
Yeah.
These are our people.
Exactly. It's great.
All right, so oh boy, let's get to the Dragon. I'm sorry, but this is to me legitimately like, I don't say this in a bad way at all, but it is the most gay part of the movie.
All right.
The train scene. I mean, it's literally like a romantic, like, it's a romantic cliche, Dragon.
I mean, fine. I mean, sure.
I mean, like I said, I hold absolutely. I think it's actually kind of awesome that they go that deep into it, that deep into like, all right, like this
I
is
mean, look, I'm
like
glad you looked at it that way. I
this
did not, but
legitimately
that's fine.
feels romantic, you know?
Yeah. That was a nice goodbye between friends, but again, I'm glad people can take that away from it, though. It's good.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I love also just put the setting to another big Poderoso set piece, which is the train, which again is really great thematically for our story because now a sea monster will be traveling by land. So I love that idea
Sure,
versus
sure.
the sea. So it's all come together thanks to Alberto. He's doing right by Luca. Like you letting them go to school with Julie. He's traded in the Vespa for a train ticket and basically bummed me for
That
school.
kind of got me, man. Like I honestly don't think Alberto and Luca are the most compelling Pixar leads, but the fact that Alberto traded the Vespa for one ticket, that got me, man. That really was like a great gesture, you know.
Yep. And probably I think there's like a school tuition thing. I'm not sure, but
I mean, I don't think the movie mentioned that,
no,
but
I'm just saying like what Julia said. Yeah, you have to pay some money to go to school, but
oh,
I mean, that's
you're right. She did mention that.
so
Yeah.
I'm assuming. I don't know. I'm just saying, but the point being, yeah, that I was all
Uh-huh.
spent on the school and the ticket probably. But yeah, so yeah, it's just I love Grandma's wisdom going into this scene too. Like some people, I thought it was a really wonderful sentiment on the hope in troubled times. It was Grandma's wisdom that some people will never accept him, some people will, and he knows how to find the good ones. Like that's beautiful
Yeah,
writing. That
totally,
is.
totally. Yeah.
Then we have just that wonderful idea of like when Luca realizes Alberto's not going with him,
Mm.
or it's just this idea of friends are the memories you share with them. Is that yeah, I'll be with you along the journey. It's
It
the memories
got
you share
me.
with
It
me.
got me.
And then that moment of it's just like you got me off the island. Just that moment that you got me off
Yeah.
the island
Yeah.
is so
Yeah.
beautiful because what it essentially is that I'm returning the favor for you kind of basically returning the favor for you kind of help on kind of getting my life back on track. You kind of untethered me to that island and we had an adventure together. Just let me return the favor. I'm going to free you now.
And you can kind of hear his voice kind of like
Yeah,
break a little in that moment. It's very
exactly.
genuine. All
And
right.
by the way, so the Italian phrase through the movie, I have the translation by the way in case you're curious. Because he keeps
Oh yeah,
saying
I am
something to in the
curious.
movie. This is like, find it out for me, would you, when you go to school? So the translation is, nice to meet you. My name is Twisty Trombone. Now,
That's
the reason you're probably wondering why, I can. So that the director had that was the running gag with his childhood Alberto friend. That was the gag. It's like they would say
okay.
that to each other. It's nice to
Yeah,
meet you.
yeah.
My name is Twisty
That's
Trombone. It's
awesome.
cute.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Also, the ticket A113 ticket. That got me in the feels like,
Oh,
oh, the ticket has A113 on it.
did we have a Pizza Planet truck
Yes, we
sighting?
did. It was a really cool. It was an Italian design too. It
I
was almost like a
figured
three
it would be
wheeled.
something like that.
It was
Yeah,
like almost like
yeah.
a three-wheeled job. It was like kind of like a
Uh-huh.
bike version, like a
I mean,
motorized
honestly,
bike
Dragon,
version
this
of
is
it.
like this is honestly one of the easiest movies to fit a Pizza Planet truck
There
into.
was one Easter egg missing, though.
Oh, what?
As
Oh,
far as everyone
Ratzenberger?
could, yeah, Ratzenberg is gone.
I noticed that. I noticed that.
Now the
Yeah.
assumption is because I want to say it was a pandemic thing, but I'm not sure.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like at least so far, no one has been able to find him. If he was there at all, he's complete. In Soul, he was a visual cameo. He didn't have a voice in Soul. He was in Soul. But
Right, right,
that's like
yeah.
this might be the first Pixar film without Ratzenberg.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, so yeah, so then of course, we have a great money shot in the rain on the train, kind of showcasing both him as a human and as a sea monster. Wonderful credit sequence, by the way. I love the credit song. Charmin is all get out, and seeing Luca at school, and Massimo taking Alberto under his wing, giving him a knife for his birthday. It's real cute stuff.
Mhm. All right, Dragon, we've been streaming for too
Yeah.
long. So
Yes.
just final thoughts really
Yeah.
quick.
Final thoughts. What do you got?
I think it's pretty damn charming, man. I think it's a solid like B tier Pixar movie, and honestly, the more I think about it, the more that I'm pretty much I'm really refreshing. I'm really like I think the fact that it's a low stakes, kind of like breezy summer movie is honestly kind of refreshing for Pixar, where Pixar is known to make these like huge giant worlds and like mind blowing high concepts and stuff like that. Like I honestly think Pixar, could like it. Honestly, like it's not nearly as big of a movie as Ratatouille, obviously, as far as like Ratatouille being a masterpiece. But it's got a little bit of Ratatouille energy. You know what I mean? It kind of feels like another Pixar indie movie, if you will.
Sure, sure. Monkey in the comments confirms, yeah, no Ratzenberg from the director. He's trying to get
Uh-huh.
Pete Sohn as the new Ratzenberg, though, which I think is interesting. But we'll
That's
see. We'll see.
remember when fucking Bill Hader was gonna be the new
I
Ratzenberg?
know, but Sohn, I don't know. I dig Sohn though. I could see that
Uh-huh.
happening. But, anyway, okay. So final thoughts for me. Again, this feels to me Pixar's. It seems to me Pixar's latest strength is is pulling their films from a very personal place, like
Yeah,
Onward, for
yeah.
example, and gives it a special polish that's kind of that and that lived in authentic feel, that authentic quality that's kind of been there. It feels like we're in a world that we recognize and kind of connects to us a little bit more. And that's given them an advantage in telling these stories of the human experience in a fun and enjoyable ways. Uh, I think it's a perfect Pixar film to usher in the summer. It's got friendship, it's got beautiful scenery, it's got lovely music. It's a delightful film. I really
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
totally. All right, so big thanks to Monkey, Cloud Coringa, Pink Pearl, and also Fireblast Studios. I think that's their name, right? Fireblast
Yeah,
Studios.
yeah. Fireblast
Okay, cool.
Studios.
Just make sure. All right, big thanks to them for joining us in the comments. You guys all rock. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers, guys. So I don't usually do this, but if you do happen to be watching this and you aren't subscribed, my God, I will like legitimately make it a big occasion and call you out if you are the 1,000 subscriber. We are so close. So please, I don't usually beg for subscribers, but I'm to that point, Dragon. All right, have a good night, everyone. See you later.
Silencio, Bruno.
So let's Bruno.